Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Welcome again, my dear students, ninth grade students. Here we are still in Unit 8. Today we are in reading Student Book, page 91. Page 91. This is three countries, three renewables. Of course, in this lesson, students would be able to read and listen to the text, answer the questions about the text, learn some new vocabulary in context, and express their opinions about the topic. So, of course, here's the text. As we mentioned before, this is on page 91. Here's the title, Three Countries, Three Renewables. As you can see here, we have different pictures. That's what we are going to start with. This is an article. Work with a partner, look at the photos, and answer the questions. So what can you see in each photo and what connects the photos? What is common between the three photos? Is the first one, second one, and third one. Of course, they are not in order. We're talking about three different countries: USA, Australia, and here's the UK. Of course, we have suggested answers, but we need to read first and listen. Read the article about renewable energy. What do you mean by renewable energy? Renewable is taken from the word new, renewable, renewable, something that is renewed again and again. Of course, something that you start again or you can use many times. It's renewable. It's never ending source of energy. Match the renewable energies in the photos with the countries in the text. So you are asked to match the photos. These are different sources: wind turbines, biomass, and solar panels. Where can you find each kind of renewable energy in which country? Of course, first here are some guessing suggested answers. Of course, you can guess that. The photos show different sources of energy: wind turbines, biomass, and solar panels. Different. What connects the photos? What is common between the three photos? All of them are renewable energies. These are sources of energy. So let's start together reading, and then of course we are going to answer some questions. Match the renewable energies with the countries. So let's start reading, and then we will move to the matching.
CD 2, track 42. Listen to the article. Three countries, three renewables. Humans are capable of producing energy that, unlike oil, natural gas, and coal, do not damage the environment. We look at three countries and three different renewable energy sources. The USA. The USA has several renewable energy projects. A lot of power stations use biomass to produce energy. Biomass is anything natural, plants and trees mostly, and it can be used to produce electricity. In a recent storm in Minnesota, over 3,000 trees were knocked down by strong winds. The wood from the trees was burned to produce energy. The state also wants to cut down 40,000 more trees because they are diseased. Of course, new trees are planted in place of the old ones, which also helps the environment. Australia. It's certainly sunny in Australia. The country gets more than 3,500 hours of sunlight a year. That's 10 hours a day. And solar energy is big business. Australia has spent a lot of money on solar energy. Solar panels power houses, schools, businesses, and factories all over the country. all homes in South Australia use solar power. Australian solar power has brought down the country's energy bills and has had a very positive environmental effect. If Australia keeps on spending money on renewable energy, it is thought that by 2030, 100% of Australia's energy could come from renewable sources. The UK. Everyone knows that in the UK it's not sunny very often. Britain only gets between 1,200 and 1,600 hours of sunlight a year, so it's clear that solar power isn't big in Britain. But Britain has other renewable sources that can produce energy. It's an island, so the government is taking advantage of the often windy conditions and is putting up wind farms off its coasts. In Cumbria, in the northwest of England, enough energy is produced by more than 100 turbines to power over 320,000 homes. On the other side of the country, there is a wind farm with 88 wind turbines off the coast of Norfolk. Fact: the Earth gets enough sunlight in 1 hour to give energy to the whole world for 1 year.
So this is the end of this listening track. Of course, now we are able to match the source of the energy sources with the countries. So wind turbines, you can see them in the UK. What about biomass, which is any type of animal or plant forms of energy? This is in the USA. And what about solar panels? Of course, it's a country where you can find a lot of sunlight. Here's Australia. So here are three different sources: the UK, the USA, and Australia. Okay, so in number 3, now read the article again and answer the question. So now please stop here and try to read the questions, read the text quickly, scan the text to find the answers for these questions. We have 6 questions about the text. Okay, so after you have read the questions and the text, now where does Minnesota get its biomass from? So, of course, you can guess that from wood, from 3,000 trees knocked down by strong winds. Okay, what about 2? What 2 benefits, 2 uses does using biomass have for the environment? What do we get from this use? The use of biomass, of course, you can use wood from trees which have a disease, and then you can plant new trees. So cut diseased trees and plant new trees. In this way, you have renewable forests. What about 3? Why is the sun so important in Australia? Australia is a sunny country because about a quarter of all homes in southern Australia use solar power. This is 25%. About 25% of all homes in southern Australia use solar power. What about 4? What 2 results has the use of solar power had in Australia? The benefits. Of course, you can guess that it has brought down the country's energy bills. You don't have to pay a lot of money and has had a positive environmental effect. It's a clean energy, a clean source of energy. It's eco-friendly. What about 5? Why has Britain got lots of sea and wind? You can have a lot of sea and wind, of course, because Britain as a whole is an island. This is a land surrounded by sea from all sides. Which wind farm will produce more electricity? Which wind farm will produce more electricity? of course, the wind farm in Cumbria, because you have a strong wind in that area. So here's a wind farm, of course. You could see a lot of wind farms on that area or in that area. Okay, what about number 4? After we have finished with the comprehension questions, we started with pre-reading, then we read the text, and then we discussed the text. Now we move to phrasal verbs. Inside the text we have some highlighted words. Match the phrasal verbs with definitions. So here we have 5 highlighted verbs here, of course, in different tenses. Knocked down, of course, this is in the past. To knock down, cut down, bring down, so brought down. Keeps on, which is keep on. To put up. So now again, you are asked to stop here, try to match the 5 phrasal verbs. When I say phrasal verb, this is the main verb followed by a preposition or an adverb. So what does it mean to bring down? To bring down, reduce, to make smaller. To bring down, to make something smaller. The amount or number of something. Keep on. Keep on means to continue. Put up, what does it mean to put up? To build. To put up, it means to build. Knock down. So of course, take care of the verbs that have similar prepositions or adverbs. To knock down is different from bring down. So knock down, fall to the ground, like knocking down buildings or similar things. To cut down, of course, it's usually used with trees. Cut so it falls to the ground. To cut down trees, for example. Okay? So after we have matched these verbs, now of course you can use these phrasal verbs in your sentences. Now make notes about the questions. Of course, this is critical thinking questions. Make notes about the questions. What is renewable energy important for our world? Why is it important? Why do you think? You should think. Of course, you don't have ready answers here. So, what renewable energy is used in our country, here in Jordan or in the area? What do you do to save energy at home or at school? So 3 related questions that deals with energy and renewable energy, clean forms or sources of energy. Of course, you can write sentences to answer these questions, or of course, you are welcomed all the time to make voice recordings. What about your homework? Of course, you are asked to go directly to reading page 81, your workbook. Of course, here's another text. What can we do? You are asked to read the text. Of course, as usual, we have 3 questions before reading. How you can become a millionaire selling? Choose the correct summary. These are 3 different summaries. Which one is the correct summary for the text? What can we do? After reading, of course, in number 2, match the words in bold. Again, we have words and definitions. Decompose, landfill, occur, energy intensive, mining, harms, run, and crushed. So these are 8 different words. Now try to match them with their definitions. These are definitions. Of course, this is English definition. After that, number 3, read the text again and answer the question. Use comprehension questions. We have 10 questions. So please read the questions and try to answer them by yourself. Of course, this is a practice to be able to deal with the text by yourself. Of course, next lesson we will do the questions together. At the end, as usual, we have a critical thinking question. You are asked to have your own comments about the topic. What happens to cans in your country? Which of the ways explained in the article do you think is best? And what do you think is the best way to stop people just throwing cans away? Write 4 or 5 sentences. Just give us your opinion about the topic of the way of dealing with cans in your country. So this is everything today about the two texts. Of course, don't forget to read the text and do the questions. Thank you. This is everything for today.